I don't know how much of this actually goes in the footage. Like, my late my latest stream pretty much got everything from the moment I started recording. And some other streams of mine, just the VOD, I mean. I mean, nobody's watching right now, so there's no point in saying anything worthwhile. So, like, other streams don't pick anything up for, like, the first 30 seconds. And yet, my latest one picked up, like, from the moment I started recording. But, now should be fine. Hi, all you laddies, lasses, and beans. We're doing an Assassin's Creed game tier list today because I'm bored, honestly. I've been wanting to do this, and also, yeah, oh, fuck off. Sorry. I just watched Star Wars, the first one, because May the 4th was yesterday, and it was good. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about now, but I thought I'd just say that. Anyway, if you clicked on this stream, you probably know what this is about, so I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. Except by saying I have not played Assassin's Creed Odyssey or the newest one, Shadows, because it's only on consoles that I don't have. Alright, let's start with the first Assassin's Creed. I'm putting it in B tier for based. Okay, so here's the thing about Assassin's Creed 1. First of all, let's just get this out of the way. I love all the I at least like all the Assassin's Creed games, the series that I generally like. I try to like everything about things. I know that's weird, but that's just how I am. So, Assassin's Creed 1, in my opinion, has such the perfect story and atmosphere. There's no, like, convoluted plot. It's just, by the way, I'm gonna be spoiling every game story in this, so you've been warned. It's just, you fricked up, kill 9 people for me, and it turns out I was the one that was leading them all along. It's just it's a good, simple plot but it builds. Cause, like, you don't know how all these people Altair is killing are connected at first. And you see, like, each of the Templars kind of have their own reasons for doing what they're doing. And, that makes them not just cartoony villains. Like, they actually have some depth to them. Like, they feel like real human beings. And then, to top it all off, your own master is the leader of the Templars. So that's pretty fricked up. He sucks in general. But the coolest thing about this is, first of all, the real history behind it, because the Assassins and Templars, for the only game in the series pretty much, are actually real at this time, though they're the Hashashin and the Knights Templar. I don't know a whole lot about the real-life Hashashin or real-life Knights Templar. I do know a lot about the time period. I mean, I know a decent bit, but, like, that's one of the reasons I love the game story, is just because it's in a time period that I think is so interesting and fricked up. And also, the cities are really cool. Jerusalem, Acre, Damascus especially, I really enjoyed. They're just really fun to run around and explore in. Now you're probably wondering, then why is it in B tier? Well, if you've ever played this game, you'll notice it's really outdated. Now, if this game were to get a remake, it would probably go in S tier, because I feel like if you can fix the problems with it, it could be peak. I mean peak, because like, it's just so good. As I said, the story's amazing. But the problem for me is that the missions are pretty repetitive. Like, all right, you gotta go tail these people, listen to their conversation. I think that's kind of the point, but, like, here's my biggest problem with the game. I feel like the game feels cryptic to me, and the reason why is because there's no subtitles, and when I first saw the cutscenes for the game, because that's how I got introduced, I was like, huh, that kind of adds to it. You know, that adds to the atmosphere. But I'd rather have subtitles than not have them, because half the time I can't understand what place names are saying. Like, I'll be in the Assassin's Bureau, and they'll be like, oh, I could go to this place and this place, go to and do that. And I'm like, wait, what did you just say? Can you repeat that? But no. It just feels like the game doesn't have enough directions. And I don't know if I was in Damascus or Acre, like in the second of the three like sets of assassinations you do, of the second set. I don't know, like all directions in the game just got lost, like they just disappeared. I need to chill out my voice, it's dying. All directions just disappeared, so I was just looking at this blank-ass map, which honestly isn't that helpful, and I just got lost. And I never played the game again, because, I mean, what is there for me to do? I got completely lost, I didn't know what to do. I mean, maybe I could have looked it up, but the game just feels cryptic to me, and also pretty stiff. If they could improve the gameplay a bit, because, I mean, I don't think it's bad or anything. I just think they need to make things less cryptic. They need to add subtitles. That's actually a huge thing they need to add. Like, maybe there is. I don't know. But it's honestly just really bothers me. I don't know what happened. Maybe... But, like, I don't know. The game just feels a little bit repetitive, a little bit, like it's easy to lose track of what you're doing and just give up on the game forever. That's why it's so low. But if it got a remake and actually made things more clear, added subtitles, better graphics, and also, I get that they were working with 3 distinct colors because they weren't the best, but I mean, I would love to see this game with more vibrant colors. Just imagine those Jerusalem, Acre, and Damascus with modern-day graphics, and Masyaf, although Revelations has a cool-looking Masyaf. Alright, let's get this one out of the way. Assassin's Creed 2. Now I'm gonna put it in A tier, and you're gonna be like, what? Why only A tier? Because S tier is only reserved for one game. I'm sure you know which one it is. It's Black Flag. I'm not fooling anyone. Assassin's Creed 2. I mean, it's definitely a step up from the first game in every way, except for one thing. I feel like the Templars in this game are much, much weaker. They're just made out to be smaller. Like, in the first game, each of them had something they were working towards, a reason that they were doing what they're doing. The ones in 2, there's much more of them, and they get, like, what, 10 seconds of dialogue in the memory corridor sequences? There is some additional backstory to them, which is cool, but that's completely optional. So it just makes me feel like they're just cartoony, evil villains. But honestly, so that's a big step down, but it's still good. And they don't all need to be, like, they can just be greedy assholes. They don't need to have backstories, but I really liked that in the first game. Not backstories, but, like, motivations to what they do. Like, not all of them really need that, but I do miss it. That's my biggest complaint. Otherwise, it's a really, really amazing game. I love Italy to death. I always have. It's so much fun to explore and run around. Just dig around and do whatever you want. Venice especially is just so much fun to play in. Oh yeah, this also brings up how far I've actually gotten in each of these games. So here's the thing, I watched all of the cutscenes for these games on YouTube, but I haven't finished most of them. I think I got stuck on the parts with Bartolomeo, where you have to free some hostages in Venice and on rooftops or something, and it was the most annoying shit ever. I don't know, but it made me drop the game. But yeah, like, Venice, Florence, Tuscany, I mean, the graphics definitely are outdated, especially in you can tell in the remastered version, because they just kind of smoothed it over. They didn't really polish it all that much. But, like, it's just so good. The story's really amazing. Definitely a big step up, even though I did like Altair. Ezio's just so much more likable. He's kind of a jackass at first, but I kind of like that about him. And yeah, I just feel like the plot is overall much stronger, and also it's a time period I know less about compared to this one, so it's nice to learn more and stuff. Oh yeah, I should talk about music. All of the Assassin's Creed games have really good music. Honestly, it's not. I wouldn't say any of them have outstanding music, besides maybe Black Flag and Valhalla. And 3. Those 3 have really outstanding music, but like these are perfectly fine. They do the job. They all have some good tracks, but they don't blow me away or anything. But they perfectly set the mood, definitely, for what you're doing. I'm just wondering if there's anything else I can add. I think Rodrigo Borgia was a cool villain, which is the perfect... Hold on. Listen, there's been some bullshit in Assassin's Creed story, but the biggest bullshit move in the entire story, in my opinion, to this day, is the fact that Ezio didn't kill Rodrigo, because he says, it won't bring my mother and father back. Well, neither will have any of the other people you killed across the whole game. You killed Uberto without a second thought the moment after your parents died, and yet, when you've gotten to the very top of this whole scheme, to the person who's most evil, you don't kill him? Like, the only reason I can see as to why they did this is because they wanted to keep it historically accurate, but they could have found a better way. Even if it would be dumb, that's just extremely dumb. It makes no sense whatsoever. However, bringing us to the next game, we have Brotherhood. Personally, I like 2 better than Brotherhood, mainly because you're just exploring more in 2. In 2, I mean, in 2 you're exploring more. Brotherhood, it's basically just Rome, which is fine. It's a smaller scale game, but I've honestly never really gotten the hype for this. I mean, yeah, it's amazing. It's like Assassin's Creed 2, but polished. And I get that the appeal of this game is like training your assassin recruits and stuff. Honestly, I've always just been a fan of the stealth action gameplay and the exploration. Not really investing in like the Brotherhood aspect. And I keep screwing up anyway. And a lot of the Borgia towers are super hard to take out, but hey, I guess it's just a skill issue. It's just, I don't like it as much. It's good. I just don't like it as much as 2, because 2 explores better and has a cooler story, in my opinion. Though Brotherhood does exactly what it sets out to do. And I think Cesare is a much more interesting villain than Rodrigo. I mean, Rodrigo served his purpose, but Cesare is just so much more evil in terms of how, rash he is, and he's just a really fun villain. So that's, the biggest thing it has over 2, honestly. And the better graphics and gameplay. I mean, I don't have much else to say. It's a solid game. It's even worse, though, in terms of the Templars. I get that's not really the focus of the game in this, especially in this one, but However, Revelations does kind of bring it back, and I like it better than Brotherhood. I know, right? However, it's kind of tied with Assassin's Creed 2. I know. I can see people raising their pitchforks, but I like Revelations better than Brotherhood. First of all, the graphics are just incredible, and I like it better than Brotherhood. Second of all, I just think the location is more interesting, because Rome is amazing, don't get me wrong, but we did travel there at the end of the second game. This time we're going back to the Middle East, to Istanbul, which is a really, really, fun city to explore. I mean, so is Rome, but the main thing with Revelations is I just love the story. I know it's like a collect the thing, but I've always loved collecting stuff, collecting 5 pieces of ancient memories with Altair, tying all the games together perfectly, in my opinion. And, oh god, that ending is so powerful. With Ezio I mean, spoilers obviously, but Ezio finding Altair's corpse and like the Isu appearing and just all that, it's just perfect. It's the perfect way to round out the Ezio trilogy, in my opinion. And Embers, of course. That's not a game, so we're not going to be talking about it much. Honestly, I mean, the new stuff they add isn't all that impressive, but I feel like the parkour is incredible. Oh, hi, Boo. My cat is here. Say hi. Like, the tower defense stuff is just, I don't care. The hidden blade is pretty cool. Makes parkour pretty fun. Honestly, yeah. Again, I feel the biggest thing with Assassin's Creed is that I feel like they wouldn't all feel so similar if they wouldn't have kept releasing them year after year, milking the series to death. However, we're going to base them off of how enjoyable they are to play, not how much they are, not, you know, all the other stuff. Now, I was debating putting Assassin's Creed 3 in S tier. Now, I know y'all are gonna get super pissed about this, but, yep, I'm putting that above 2. Here's why. I freaking love Assassin's Creed 3, and I just, first of all, as an American, I know that's gonna sound stupid, but as an American, this story is very potent to me because it's in America, but also because it sheds a light on, like, Native Americans in a way I've never seen, like, the American Revolution depicted before. So this was very powerful to me, that we're not seeing, like, we're not really seeing it as such a black and white thing. It seems like that at first, but, like, you know, maybe all these Founding Fathers guys weren't so cool after all. People don't normally talk about how it affected Native Americans. Now, the biggest complaint with the game is that you're not even playing as Connor until, like, a while. And yeah, I will admit the Hey Them segment is really long and could have been easily shortened. That being said, it is enjoyable. Though I feel like they could have cut out the entire second sequence besides, I don't know, Hey Them meeting Charles Lee and they just cut a montage to meeting all the other Templars. We didn't really need all that other stuff. It's good, but it's like, you know, you came here for Connor. It's kind of a slap in the face. And to think Hey Them was a Templar all along. And I feel like that's the thing. This game really tries to go back with shedding the light on, like, what the Templars are even after. And overall, this game makes it, like, probably this game more than any other game, and Rogue, I guess, it makes it seem like the Templar, like, what the Templars truly want, what they're truly after, rather than just being evil, just pure evil. And like, so I was thinking, like, you get to play as a Templar perspective first, and then an Assassin perspective, but you don't know he's a Templar, so it doesn't really work. And that's not really the purpose of it. It's just to explain how Haven met all these people, I guess. I don't know why they, Batty? I don't know why they made so much of it about Haven. I really love the first and third sequence. I just think they could have cut out the second sequence, and it would have made the game shorter. But yeah, let's get to Connor. I freaking love Connor. Sure, he's not charismatic like Ezio, but he's just a really good character. He starts out naive, and he starts out really naive about the world. That? My cat's freaking out. I think there's a thunderstorm out right now. Daddy! Okay, so... Sorry if my voice doesn't sound the best. I'm just talking off my... I'm just yapping. I love Connor. He people say, like, it's a big shock from Ezio. But first of all, he lost his parents at a much younger age than Ezio did. Ezio was a, like, charismatic teenager by the time his dad died, so he already had developed some of that charisma. Connor, first of all, he didn't really need the charisma, that's just not his personality. And second of all, he was really little when his mom died, and had this hatred of the Templars instilled in him at a very, very young age. I mean, he didn't know they were Templars at the time, but Charles Lee. It's not just about fighting Charles Lee. It is a hungry revenge quest, which is weird. Assassin's Creed is kind of obsessed with revenge. And honestly, I just feel like we've had enough of that. But it just does it really well. There's so much more to it than the Charles Lee revenge quest. As funny as it is, I will admit. People say, and I've heard people say that, like, Connor, the voice actor isn't speaking in his native language, and he sounds more emotional when he's speaking his native tongue, which I definitely agree with. And that he actually shows more emotion in the Homestead missions. But yeah, I really feel like Connor was done dirty by the community. Though I do get the stuff with Hey Them and how much of the game he took up, because that was really unnecessary. But I love it so much. New York City and Boston, so much fun to explore. In fact, I loved Boston in the game so much that I went there in real life and cosplayed as Connor there. New York City, unfortunately, doesn't really have a whole lot of their colonial stuff left, so I didn't really go there to explore their history. And the frontier is also really fun to parkour across. And in the combat, they really upped the combat. The combat was just kind of pretty basic. It did the job, but it was very basic. But the combat is so much fun now. I don't think the stealth is too bad. I mean, when you can hide in bushes, it's fine. And overall, biggest problem with this game is probably the freaking, what you need to do to get it 100% with the 100% sync with the memories. Like, for example, let's take John Pitcairn. It's one of my favorite assassination missions. You have to run across the Bunker Hill battlefield and kill him. It's so badass. But you're supposed to jump off this very thin American flag onto him. I'm like, what? But yeah, that's probably the dumbest thing about the game. They're so unreasonable and outrageous. For a lot of them, honestly. But anyway, back on track. They really, like the first game, it gave all the Templars reasons for doing what they're doing. And I really love Connor and Hey Them's little brief, albeit brief, relationship. You know what I mean. And the twist about George Washington, like, being technically the reason why Connor's village was burned down was such a clever plot twist. Because as I was trying to say, he starts out naive, thinking that, oh, if the colonists are freeing from Great Britain, then the Native Americans will get rights. But he realizes over time that that's not the case, and he's divided, you know? He's helped the Americans try and win their independence for so long, and yet, like, it doesn't matter. He's just screwing over his own people. The conversation with Hey Them before you kill him is really potent, even though you probably can't hear most of it because it cuts out a lot. But Hey Them saying the sheep need a shepherd. Overall, just really sums up the Templar ideology. I also think he's the most likable Templar and the best, like, Templar villain. Charles Lee is just an insufferable scumbag. Nobody likes him. The chase with him at the end is really epic and intense, and the music is great. And gosh, I love how Connor just sits down with them at a bar. They have a drink together, and he just kills him. It's just such a... I don't know, it's like we're both so tired. We don't have anything left. Charles Lee's lost all his fellow Templars. Connor's lost his village. We're just two men out to kill each other. And then Connor... That's kind of what I get from that scene. And there was no dialogue the whole scene. That's what I really loved about it. They didn't need any dialogue. There's so much, just the story of this game is so great, and I love Connor so much. There's some great lines, like how again, his conversation with Hey Them, but how Charles Lee says, everyone you know has abandoned you. Why are you still fighting? And he says, because no one else will. And gosh, it's really heart-wrenching when Connor has to kill his own best friend, because it's such a, it's a story that connects with people today, because, you know, Native Americans are still discriminated against. I mean, you could say these other ones are, but I mean, I don't really know how these would connect. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything. You all know what's going on in the Middle East. But for 3, it just, I feel like it both raises awareness to Native American people, raises like fascination with their culture, and also is very, very respectful, and shows that it's not so black and white. We think it is at first, but it isn't. And that's what I love so much about the game. The game's ending is pretty shitty. Connor's mentor eventually dies. His village is gone. All that's left is a message for the future. And I might as well mention the Desmond parts, because honestly, they're pretty unremarkable in all the games, except for in this one. I mean, Desmond finally becomes a badass in this one, and honestly, I think Desmond sacrificing himself is a good way to end off the thing. But after that, the modern day stuff gets really boring, honestly. And, yeah, just really boring, and... So anyway, but yeah, and then there's a speech, it's optional, but there's a speech where Connor says, like, that he's going to carry on despite everything, and it's just so inspiring. I find Connor as a character so inspiring, that despite losing everything he was fighting for, he never stopped fighting for justice, you know? And there is a cool comic following his life afterwards. Anyway, that's the end of my TED Talk for 3. Black Flag! I mean, what is there to say that most people haven't said? Ship combat. Well, that was great in Assassin's Creed 3, but Black Flag, it's just... The game feels so free. You can just go wherever, even if you do get your ass kicked. Raid stuff, it's the ultimate pirate game, but there's so much more to it than that. What it really is a story about redemption, and I love redemption arcs. It's not revenge like the first 2. I mean, this was kind of redemption, but it's more like you screwed up, redeem yourself. This is Edward, for the whole story, is kind of just a greedy asshole, and over time, he starts to lose more and more of what he cares about. All of his fellow pirate friends start to die or be imprisoned, and geez, the heart-wrenching part in Chapter 11 where Mary Reed dies in pregnancy is just, gosh. And how Adewale is such an amazing character. I mean, the story is just so great. How Edward goes from a greedy asshole, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, to his transformation into an assassin, because he feels like, you know, he's lost everything. What else is there? And a lot of his friends that are still alive are joining the assassins as well. And it's interesting that you play like you're working for the Templars in the beginning. The Colonial games overall give us a different perspective on the Templars. I also think the main villain, Laureano Torres' thing is interesting. Roberts is obviously more of a, overarching antagonist. I mean, Torres is too, but, Torres is just how his motivation is that he doesn't want the world to lie anymore, and that he wants to use the, the observatory to unveil the world's secrets. Obviously, he could get corrupt really quickly, but the idea that, he's using it that he wants there to be no lies anymore is really interesting. I'm phrasing it badly. What I'm saying is, again, it's not just blind evil, like with the Ezio games. There's actually... I mean, again, the people in these games, a lot of them are just greedy assholes, but still, I do like, and I like how Torres respects Edward's convictions at the end, and acknowledges that he has changed. It's really cool. The combat is amazing. The stealth is honestly really good. It's really fun hiding through bushes and stuff. Havana is really fun to explore. I didn't enjoy it at first, but once I got a hang of the controls, it's really fun. Havana's really fun to explore. It's kind of like the city in this game, because the other two, Nassau and Kingston, aren't so much cities as they are colonies feeling. I mean, it's all colonies, but, you know, Havana feels more like a city, more akin to the older games. And where was I? Yeah, and I like the DLC is also good. I forgot to mention the DLC for 3. Tyranny of King Washington is just madness. It's amazing. Black Flag's DLC is also really good, though I got stuck on, like, one of the early missions and don't know how to progress. So I'm just kind of screwed there. I did finish Black Flag. I forgot to mention I also finished 3. I did not finish Revelations or Brotherhood. Again, I've seen all the cutscenes, so I know the story. I didn't finish any of the Ezio games. I don't remember why. Brotherhood, I got stuck on one of the missions where you have to, like, escort an army with Bartolomeo. What's with Bartolomeo and being stuck on missions involving him? Black Flag I finished. I think Mumi was over, which made it more magical. This game, as for the modern story, it's like a first-person simulator thing now. I think it was interesting how that one Isu, like, that there's a modern-day Sage as well with that one guy. That was the only interesting part about it. Otherwise, you're an employee working for the bad guys. That's so lame. Though at least you get to see the old assassins again, and you're kind of getting hint resistance. But that's just ruined in Rogue, although fixed in Unity. But anyway. I mean, I just feel like everything about Black Flag is amazing. Amazing music, amazing fighting, amazing ship combat. I think the stealth is very good. It's not the best, but it's very good. Parkour is really good. I mean, it's not the big focus of the game, but running around like Havana and the jungle is fun. Not like the Frontier from 3, but still, very fun. Best Assassin's Creed game, one of my favorite games ever in general. Rogue. I'm divided between C and B tier. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy this game, but I have problems with it. So, how about this? C is for cool, B is for based, A is for awesome, S is for spectacular. Rogue, it's a fun game. I mean, it's basically Black Flag again, but in the North Atlantic, which is really cool. You got icy stuff, and New York State, which we already kind of did in 3, which is weird. And New York City we're exploring again. That's not really all that fun. I mean, it was before the Great Fire, so it looks different, but I mean, it's alright. But anyway, the story is the big thing. Like, first of all, you're playing as a Templar, which is a big shock, though that's kind of the whole marketing around this game. Second of all, Shay Cormac's story is kind of interesting. So, basically, we just get introduced to... I mean, we kill Templars that are really old and dying anyway, so it's like, what's even the point? Kind of leading up to that. And then we find out that the assassins didn't know that, like, I feel like if there was better communication, none of this would have happened. Like, Shay's like, Shay assumes that they knew what they were doing all along, but they didn't, and then we just get miscommunication. I mean, it's realistic, I guess, but overall, it just feels like Shay, it feels rushed, sorta, his conversion to the Templar side. And I mean, Lisbon. We get introduced to it for like 5 minutes, and it's already gone. There is a cool line foreshadowing it about how he likes Lisbon women, so I thought that was kind of foreshadowing. it's a fun game. It plays basically the same as Black Flag. The story is what's lacking. You also have to fight assassins, which can get pretty annoying, but it can be fun as well. I mean, and the ending. I do like how we kind of get foreshadowing for 3 about, like, Achilles and why he's so pessimistic, because I definitely would be after what he went through in Rogue. But, he, at the end, he kills Arno Dorian's father. And in Unity, they never discussed that. Now, let me talk about Unity. I never finished Rogue. I'm still stuck on the mission where you have to fight Chevalier, because I didn't level up my ship enough. So yeah, I'm almost done. It's also very short. This is when it becomes obvious that they made these games came out the same year, the same day, I believe. It's cool, on one hand, it's cool how they connected the games by having Shay Cormac kill Arno Dorian's father, but Arno Dorian is not on a quest of revenge for his father. He's on a quest of revenge for his adopted father, De La Serre. Now, first of all, I don't think the subtitles were on when I first watched it, so it was hard to understand the names. Again, that subtitles or no subtitles is a very important thing. And I didn't really know who De La Serre was to him, and I was confused. He's like his adopted father. And again, it's another revenge thing. But what makes this game special to me, the plot, is they really try to mess with... Because, like, for the first time ever, really, Templars and Assassins are thinking of having a truce. But despite their best efforts, there's members of both sides, like Robert, in the main villain of the Templars, and Pierre Balek, your own mentor, who poisons your master. It's called Assassin's Creed Unity, probably because they were trying to advertise the online stuff, which is pretty cool, but... And they fixed the glitches, and overall the game has gotten a bit of... Like, people have warmed up to it over time, like they have with 3, but people keep showing off these parkour montages of Unity, and overall the game looks amazing. Now that it's all polished up, it took long enough. French Revolution time period is overall a time period that very fascinates me. I mean, same with Pirate Age as well, but overall, one of my most interesting eras in history is like the Enlightenment, where revolution after revolution was happening, you know. American Revolution, French Revolution, Haitian Revolution, and Napoleonic Wars, and everything that came after. A very fascinating period of history. So, this caught my eye. And, fun fact, the scene where King Louis is beheaded was so accurate that I think my history teacher, who's a really cool guy, showed it to class. Not my class, but a different class. Speaking of, one time I was in middle school, and my middle school history teacher showed us Assassin's Creed Origins, and he showed us like the Library of Alexandria and told us about the real history. I didn't care about history at the time, but it was just cool. He was cool. He is cool. I mean, he's still alive or whatever. He's still alive. I mean, I made it sound weird. Unity, I've been talking about the story. I feel like Elise, it's a cute love story, kind of Romeo and Juliet type thing, and I like how they're willing to put aside their differences. And her death at the end feels out of nowhere, to be honest. I like how we see the end of the real Knights Templar. It puts a lot of history behind it. And, oh yeah, of course, Napoleon makes an appearance. Average height for the time. And also that weird part when he's like tripping out, and it looks like that weird part when he first joins the Assassins and he's like tripping out, it looks like that was meant to represent him getting revenge for his father, because it looked like he was chasing a shadowy man that ran away from the murder of his father. The ending speech at the end of the game is really good though. However, I got stuck on the Napoleon DLC, and at this point I might as well start a new game. At one point I got bored and wanted to get all the synchronization points in every Assassin's Creed. So I teleported, thinking I'd go to a synchronization point, only to realize I got stuck in the Dead Kings DLC and couldn't get out, and I kept dying. So I was screwed, and I can't escape. So I just gave up on the game, which is a really shame because I only got to I think I finished Sequence 5. Is it called Sequences? Whatever. The gameplay is really fun. It's definitely a lot harder than the other ones, but it does the job well. It's definitely a more focus on stealth. Like, if you get in a fight in Black Flag, you might stand a chance. Same with 3. But this game, if you get in a fight, get prepared to get your ass wiped. This is a game that very much focuses on stealth, which I honestly like. You can crouch. Why wasn't this an option in the other games? You can only crouch in bushes, and sometimes it doesn't even work in the older games. Unity is just so good. Yeah, Paris is the only location, but it's freaking massive. But the biggest problem is just that these games came out at the same time. So, because I'm sure they were already writing the plot about the revenge for De La Serre's murder before they came up with that ending with Shay Cormac to tie the games together. I would have rather had them not tied together than have the plot of Unity ruined. And yeah, the glitches, but honestly, I haven't had that much problem with glitches besides the Dead Kings DLC thing, because I first played it in, 2022? That was when I was really getting... 2021, no, that was when I was really getting into Assassin's Creed, so I think I played it in 21 or 22 for the first time, so by then, it had almost been 10 years. Speaking of 10 years, Syndicate. I mean... This game has a lot of support, and overall, I can see it. It's overall, I feel like it's more lighthearted than the other Assassin's Creed games, which makes sense. Also, I feel like the sister gets a lot more done than the brother, which is fine, but Jacob almost feels useless sometimes. I think the guy's name is Maxwell, where he kills everyone at a play. That was, one of the really interesting... Overall, Syndicate, I can barely even remember most of the plot, because I found it to be really kind of boring? I don't know. There wasn't even memory corridors except for the last one in Unity. But in Syndicate, again, the Templars feel pretty stale. I mean, yeah, this is when it started to become obvious that they were making too many. London is super fun to explore, and it's really cool to explore a more advanced time period. And we even get a glimpse of World War I, though I didn't get to that part. I could barely I couldn't get past the Whitechapel part of this game. I know, it's like the beginning. Because the combat is so tough, and they make you do combat. The combat, honestly, I don't really like. It just... I don't really like the combat. I mean, hopefully I'll come around to it, because there's a lot of stuff going on. Also, I just realized this came out the same year as Metal Gear Solid 5. 2015 was a good year for gaming. But the gameplay and story, to me, are both alright. One of my favorite things is how Starrick reacts to every Templar death. That's something that doesn't really happen with most of the Assassin's Creed games. You wondering, when you're the Templar boss, seeing one after the other people getting murdered, don't you want to see the reaction? And I just love the part when Starrick's playing the piano, and someone walks in and just shoots them. He's cartoonishly evil, and I know I criticized that earlier, but he's cartoonishly evil, and that's his whole thing. He's like a Saturday morning cartoon villain, and that's kind of why he's so much fun as a villain. And, fun to hate. I mean, yeah, I don't think splitting it into, the siblings, splitting them into playing as two siblings was a good idea. They probably did that to have it, you could play as a boy and a girl, which I get, but, I just don't think it benefits the experience much. Weirdly enough, that's a good transition into Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, I'm debated... I think I should... Okay, I can see raising your pitchforks, but hear me out. Origins is so much fun. First of all, I know it's very different than the other ones, with the RPG mechanics and all that. But, unlike the other RPG games. I mean, you don't have to be. It can get pretty tough. You do have to level up, but it's not excessive, you know. Like I've heard Odyssey is, but I never played Odyssey, as I've told you. Origins, like you play as both Bayek and Aya, and as much as I love Aya, her parts are just all okay because like the game ends with Aya. But here's what I'm saying about playing as a boy and a girl. I know that was part of the thing, but dividing up the story like this, it's fine story-wise, but gameplay-wise, it's hard to do that. It doesn't ruin the game or anything, and I do love Aya. She's a badass, great character overall. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Jack the Ripper DLC. I never finished watching it, but it looks really good. Origins. I really love this game. Like, yeah, it's the revenge plot again, but I feel like they do it the best out of any time this time. I mean, this guy, he literally was forced to murder his own son with his own two hands. Like, I feel like, yeah, watching your parents die, that's bad, but watching your own kid die right in front of you at your own hand, technically, even though it wasn't him who did it, that is just, like, unbelievably traumatic. And I love the arc about these two parents that are grieving, and the only way they can grieve is with violence, and they know it, whether it be right or wrong. The story is just so good. The Templars, again, have a bit of depth to them, especially, what's her name? The woman in Giza who wants to bring back her daughter, and it raises this interesting thing. However, some of the Templars just are pure evil, and they do play around with that. Each arc just feels so good. Like, same with 3. I mean, Black Flag isn't so much of an arc game as some of these other ones are. But Origins, like, it's just so good. The historical time period in which it takes place in is very interesting. Egypt is so much fun to explore. It's very huge, but I just feel like it's just big enough. Like, a lot of the map there's just nothing to do in, but it's fine, you know, you're not going to be really going there to do anything important. And again, it's not too big. It's not too big, and we'll be getting back to that. Sorry if it may sound weird. Alexandria is a wonderful city to explore, and yeah, again, yeah, it's good to have some of that old Assassin's Creed energy in there. With cities like Alexandria. Egypt, this is so much fun to explore. Just looking back at my memories of the game, it's such a beautiful game. It's so much fun. It's such... Let's say it's just a beautiful game again. It's one of the most fun games in the series, and the story is so good. I will say, though, Flavius, first of all, I respect that. Yeah, he said he'd kill 1,000 sons. I don't respect that, but I respect that they weren't interested on making him a, like, respectable villain. They just want to make him a pure scumbag who all he wants is power. And although he goes... My point is, with these other ones, is, like, the memory corridors last for, like, 10 seconds. We get, like, animations and stuff with Origins. It's really cool. But how is Flavius, this big guy, or Septimius, either of them, how would if either of them killed his son? It looked like a bunch of skinny old guys were the people, who were the ones when Bayek's son was murdered. The DLCs look pretty good, though I haven't seen all of them. I think I watched all of the Hidden Ones DLC, which is in Sinai, which is pretty cool. And there's a Star Wars reference. I have the high ground, which is fitting since I just watched Star Wars. Overall, peak game. I don't care what anyone says. This game means a lot to me. It's very good. Now let's talk about Odyssey. Oh yeah, Liberation, I don't really want to put it there. I've barely played it. I've seen the story. It's alright. New Orleans, pretty cool. I just don't have much to say. It's kind of boring. It's alright. You know? Odyssey. Again, with the boy-girl thing, that's fine. I've never played Odyssey. You want to know why? Because I have insecure opinions. I always have. And I saw a review of the game a very, very long review that basically said everything about the game is awful, and they gave good reasons. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I just won't get it then. I might play it eventually because it looks fun. But mainly the biggest turnoff for me, there's two big turnoffs. One, it seems like you really have to level up. Like, it's strict. And second, it's not even about Assassins anymore. I mean, Origins, the whole point of it was it's the Assassin's Creed Origins. But it's not even about Assassins anymore. It is cool that we get to see the first use of the Hidden Blade, but in the DLC, but like, and also it really plays around with the gods a lot, which, I mean, that's not what Assassin's Creed is about, you know? And it seems like the choices in the game are just between absolute good and absolute evil. Again, this is all from a review I saw. I've never played the game, and I've barely seen the cutscenes. So I can't fairly rank it. But Valhalla, I can. So, Valhalla, I could talk about this game extensively. This is what got me into the Assassin's Creed series. I feel like putting Rogue alone down there without Valhalla is a little unfair. So let me just do that. So I've probably had more fun playing Rogue because it's more like Black Flag, but Syndicate I feel like is better overall. But Valhalla, okay? So I saw Corey Kenshin of all people play this game, and I was like, whoa, this game looks so cool. Vikings, I like Vikings. I was a big fan of How to Train Your Dragon as a kid. I still am. Great series. I don't know that. I think that was my only exposure to Vikings when I was young. I mean, that I was really into. I don't know. It looked really cool, like a really cool game. And snow. There was lots of snow in Norway. Keep that in mind. I started the game, had a blast. Overall, just so much fantastic memories from the beginning of the game. For some reason, I thought the game would end after I killed Kiltve the Cruel, which makes no sense. I almost wish it ended there, because this game never fucking ends! And that's the big problem! Listen, okay? First of all, Norway, the snow, you love the snow? Well, you're not gonna see it for most of the game. You're just gonna see England. Which, it's you know, it's beautiful, but it's nothing on the lines of... Compared to the looks and feels of the other games, it just isn't all that remarkable. And I get it's more accurate medieval stuff. That's not really the problem here, but I was really coming into it for the snowy environment, honestly, of Norway, and I was disappointed when that wasn't the reason, even though obviously Vikings wanted to settle other areas. We do also see a Vinland side story, which ties into Assassin's Creed 3. That's really cool. Though I thought there was going to be more to do there. And also, I think it's a huge slap in the face, and it kind of ruins the entire thing that you can't understand what the Native Americans are saying, because, like, why not? I don't see... Okay, so they spell out what they say, but they don't actually say what they say. That's just dumb. There's also another girl, who... I think Gunnur, or whatever, the blacksmith dates her, and they just say unintelligible when she's clearly speaking English sometimes, and I think some other Germanic languages. Like, that's just lazy. They probably did that because this game never ends. There is over, like, 11 main story arcs, and they're very episodic. And I was expecting to have this game to be, like, a very straight, like a story, you know? But it's more of a series of side quests that all build towards a greater goal. What is that greater goal? Okay, so it's the revenge plot again, but it's involved with a bunch of other Templars as well. But that's not... The revenge isn't the focus of the game. It's about, like, conquering stuff and raiding churches. It's kind of weird when you say it like that, but yeah, you are raiding a lot of churches in this game. Because that's what Vikings did. At least you're not killing civilians, which Vikings did, and enslaving people, which Vikings did. And like... I did play the River Raid DLC. That is so boring. Probably the most boring DLC I've seen for anything. That's saying a lot. It looks like, I don't know, River Raid DLC, first of all, the looks of it are so boring, and it just feels like so underwhelming and bad, especially when, like, I think I saw someone, like, complain about it that lived there. Imagine, finally, oh my gosh, a place where I live that's not very, like, well known in a game? How cool. And then it sucks ass. But anyway, the Ireland DLC, Ireland just felt like a lot of the same with its environment. It was alright. Though I did hear someone mention how they kind of made the Celtics seem like a cult, weird cult forest people, which, yeah, that's kind of scummy. And also they make the Viking temples look how they didn't look for many, many years, which is not historically accurate, but I think it looks really cool. And I remember having really fond memories of climbing them, and I mean, yeah. But anyway, the real problem with this game is the story and gameplay, because it never ends. There's good stories. The story isn't bad, though I feel like it involves the gods way too much, and oh my god, the twist ending is so dumb. We have this thing, oh my gosh, it's an assassin with Basim. However, Basim, the reason his son died, first of all, why would he tell this to Eivor if he's the one who killed his son? Why wouldn't he try to kill him earlier? And second of all, wouldn't Basim, I guess he didn't know until then, but it's because they're this, like, reincarnations of the gods? And he killed his son, which was a wolf? What is this, God of War? Like, there's not a problem with that, but that's just such a dumb... It's not Assassin's Creed. I mean, you could say that about a lot of these games, but this game, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, has good stealth. Origins, I'd say, even has good stealth. Valhalla has really bad stealth, and when we finally get an assassin involved, his main motivation is being the reincarnation of a god. I think that was such a dumbass ending plot point. I did think them going to Valhalla and it not being so cool was interesting. The ending sucked, though, for many reasons. Like, well, just think, you could be playing this game for, like, hundreds of hours, which me and my mom did. Hundreds and hundreds of hours. You finally get to the end. First of all, it is cool how it's implied that Desmond is now involved again. But then we just get Layla, and Basim comes back to life? What? Okay, like, we've already been dealing with the Isu shit, but this is just too much. It's just too much. It's dumb. It's really freaking dumb. And my mom told me how she really hates that Basim is now standing over Eivor's grave, and yeah. Though there is a scene where Basim's, like, sitting by the campfire in Vinland and, like, imagining Eivor sitting next to them, and someone said how it's like the gods, how they all sat next to each other after, like, in the end, telling stories. That's just a random comment I saw. Don't quote me on that. But the biggest slap in the face of it all is that there's no credit sequence. Now that sounds like, okay, what's the big whoop? When you've been playing a game for so long, I'm like, come on, what's the ending? But there is no ending because there's no credit sequence to tell you when it's the ending. So it's just a game that goes on forever. It just feels... Like, clearly the thing with Basim and when they find the Isu temple, that's meant to be the end of the game. But it's not. There's no end credits, and there's still another thing to do back in England. Which is fun, don't get me wrong. And I remember after the big battle at Hamptonshire that the frickin' beautiful Kingdom of Wessex song came on as everyone was... When I was walking around and everyone was... The survivors were coping with the losses. That was really powerful. But it's just so unsatisfying to have a game that doesn't end. You'd think it wouldn't be, but no, I like games that end. All good things must come to an end. You know? The Paris DLC looked really cool. I actually got it, but I never played it. So maybe I should play it. Like, oh yeah, and the Templars. So there is 3 cities in this game, which are really cool and fun to explore, but the stealth is pretty bad, honestly. And, And we do get some cool Templar backstories, just like Origins, but that's not the focus of the game. It's not a good story because it's disconnected and it feels like a bunch of random medieval stories that medieval era stories that they cramped together. I think the East Anglia arc is the best one standalone arc. I had a great time with the game, I'm not gonna lie, but it left me feeling so empty in the end, which is why I can't recommend it compared to the other games. Play Black Flag if you're gonna play any of them. Origins after that if you want. 3, you really gotta respect it. You gotta get through all the Haven stuff. I feel like if you don't like the story parts of Assassin's Creed, then you're not gonna like Haven stuff. I don't know. But even then, I mean, you're just recruiting people for what? We don't know. To find Precursor Site? Anyway, I'm talking about 3. So yeah, Valhalla, very mixed feelings. My brain's like, you gotta like it or you don't like it, but it's not that simple. I do like the game, it's a cool game, but there's just so many problems with it, and it's so long, and it feels like such a slap in the face. In the end, which really sucks. Mirage, I'd say... Okay, people might kill me for this, but first of all, I played Mirage way more than Syndicate and actually finished it. I finished Valhalla, even though there wasn't a credit sequence. I almost finished Origins, but I got stuck on one of the naval missions with Aya right after you beat Flavius. So, Mirage. I was really excited for this game, like, oh my gosh, a return to the old formula? It's been 3 years since the new Assassin's Creed game came out. And Valhalla, that Christmas season, that was when I got into the series. So I play Mirage. The story sucks. The story doesn't suck. First of all, why the frick are you playing as Basim? He was such an unlikable douchebag after the ending of the last game. I get this is beforehand, so he's kind of a different character, but why? Why are you playing as a character from the previous game? Can't they come up with someone new? Or do they need to cling to Valhalla because it sold so well? Roshan is a really cool character. The thing that makes this game shine is the gameplay and the city you're exploring, which is Baghdad. It's really cool, and I was hearing a review about how someone was saying that, like, Baghdad, it's not necessarily historically accurate, but they kind of meshed together a bunch of representation from different parts of the Muslim world that we may never see again from a AAA game. And I'm like, yeah, that's a really good point. It really does give you a good scope of, like, the Muslim world at this time. I mean, even though it's more of a side plot, obviously, then your goal is to kill. But the story is weird and vague. Basim is haunted by this, I forget what it's called, and this girl who wants to help him become a god. Again, with the god stuff, enough with it. This isn't a mythological series. I mean, it is if they want it to be. Obviously, I don't determine what Assassin's Creed is, but I just miss... Sure, the East... Like, it was East stuff, but those were... But, like, it wasn't real light... Like, it wasn't mythological gods like Greek and Norse stuff. It was their own thing, and they weren't that involved with the plot. And what the fuck even happened at the end of Mirage? To this day, I kind of interpreted it at the time, but I couldn't tell you what the frick happened now. Like, Basim stole the thing in the beginning all along, and not him and the girl were the same person. Now, he's changed. I did like how the bird scratched him in the face at the end, and Roshan's just done. I'm happy they didn't kill her off. She just freaking left after all this shit. I did like the little mountain village in Iran. That was cool. I don't think the story's bad. I just think it's cryptic as heck. So I can't really put it that high. I've never played Shadows. But as for the... I was gonna say pretty awkward way to end the stream. But as for the whole debacle around Black Samurai, I mean, I don't really know if they're a Black Samurai, but I feel like people are getting way too upset over it. Like, so what? It's a Black Samurai. It's a Black Samurai. And also, I think there were... I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know, so I'm not gonna... I'm fine. What I'm saying is, I'm fine with it. I like how they're... Because I'm like how they're trying to appeal to both fans by having a action person and a stealth person. I wonder how that's gonna work out. Is it gonna be like Syndicate, where we constantly switch between two characters? I hope not. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I've kept my ears shut about this game story, and pretty much everything about it. And I can't play it because I don't have any of the consoles it's on, and it's gonna be a while before I get the Switch too. I'm gonna have to get it eventually. It has the new Donkey Kong game. If it's good, I'll wait to see if it's good. Okay, well, I don't have much else to say. This is my Assassin's Creed game tier list. We've got, starting from least to top, Rogue and Valhalla in C tier, Syndicate, Mirage, Unity, and Creed 1 in B tier, Brotherhood, Revelations 2, 3, and Origins in A tier, and Black Flag, 4 Black Flag in S tier. So yeah. I overall love the Assassin's Creed series. Like, I would play... I'll play these games any day, except for Valhalla, because it's just too... It feels too long. I mean, I'd play a portion of it, like, sure, give me a portion of it to play. The Norway part I'd play anytime. I really love the Norway part. Vinland part's pretty fun, even though it feels really short and underutilized. Yeah. Assassin's Creed is just a series I really love and respect, and I'm always looking forward to the next entry, even if it does suck. I'm a history buff, I love good storytelling. So yeah. But, like, let's just see. Of these games, how many of them are revenge plots? Of the... Let's just put these here, because I haven't played them. But I want to count. I don't know if this is a revenge plot. Yes, this does have a revenge plot in the beginning. 1... Okay, so Syndicate, they said their parents died, but they never really explained how, or maybe they did, I just wasn't paying attention. As I said, I was kind of bored. 1, 2... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 6 of the 14 games, so that's like almost half. Gosh dang. Well, hope you enjoyed. Bye, beans!